square kilometers of exclusive economic zone. That is why in the past year we have increased our focus on ocean or blue economy. We will raise the level of our scientific efforts in marine science. We will set up an advanced center of research in marine biology and biotechnology and establish a network of coastal and island research stations in India and abroad. We have entered into agreements on marine science and ocean economy with several countries. We will also hold an international conference on ocean economy and Pacific Island countries in New Delhi in 2016. Distinguished delegates, rivers have played as important a role in human history as oceans. Civilizations have been nurtured by rivers, and rivers will remain critical for our future. So revival of rivers is an essential part of my commitment. For a cleaner and healthier future for our society, economic opportunities for our people, and renewal of our heritage, we need regulations, policy, investments, and management to achieve our objective. But we will succeed only when we integrate technology, engineering, and innovation into our efforts. Not just to clean our rivers now, but to keep them healthy in the future as well. For this, we also need scientific understanding of the impact of urbanization, farming, industrialization, and groundwater use and contamination on the river ecosystem. River is the soul of nature. The renewal must be an element of a larger effort to sustain nature. In India, we see humanity as a part of nature, not outside or superior to it, and divinity manifested in nature's diverse forms. So, conservation is rooted in the natural instincts of our culture and tradition, and in our commitment to the future. India has a rich heritage of ecological knowledge. We have scientific institutions and human resources to mount concerted national action on conservation of nature that is rooted firmly in scientific studies and methods. Distinguished delegates, and if we wish to restore the harmony between human and nature, we must also harness the full potential of traditional knowledge. Societies across the world have developed the enormous wealth through wisdom gathered over the ages, and they hold the secrets to economic, efficient, and environment-friendly solution to many of our problems. But today, they are at risk of extinction in our globalized world. Like traditional knowledge, science has also evolved through human experiences and exploration of nature. So we must recognize that science, as we see it, does not constitute the only form of empirical knowledge about the world. And we must bridge the distance between traditional knowledge and modern science so that we can craft local and more sustainable solutions for our challenges. So in agriculture, even as we seek to make our farms yield more, reduce the intensity of our water use, or increase the nutrient content of our farm output, we should also integrate traditional techniques, local practices, and organic farming to make our agriculture less resource intensive and more resilient. And in the area of health, modern medicines have transformed healthcare. But we must also use scientific techniques and methods to delve deeper into traditional medicine and practices like yoga for a more holistic lifestyle. And change our paradigm from treatment to wellness. This is especially important in dealing with growing challenge of the lifestyle disease that take a huge toll in terms of human life and economic costs. Distinguished delegates, as a nation, we still inhabit many worlds. We are at the global frontiers of achievements in science and technology. We also see the uncertainty and despair